Yo, what's good, man? It's your boy DT3, man, and I'm back at you with another video, man. New media, notification, gang, God Squad. It's what it is, man. Look, I'm so disappointed in the training camp for my boy Anthony Yarde. I was going for my boy Ant to win that fight. I predicted as soon as they said that fight was on, I was like, Ant finna get this dude, he finna put him to sleep, all the shit, right? And a part of me did tell my boy Tenrod, shout out my boy Tenrod the Great. I did tell him, I was like, Kovalev, his jab is going to offset Anthony. If Ant can't get past Kovalev's jab, it's going to be a long night for Ant. But if Ant can deal with Kovalev's jab and get past his jab, it's going to be a long night for Kovalev. Probably a short night for Kovalev. But unfortunately, for me, my squad, Anthony Yarde, Tundi Ajayi, we took the L. And the punch that ended it was a jab, sure enough. And what I'm learning is that I also saw Bruce Vane's video. Shout out Bruce Vane, about how these new generation fighters, they really not getting really better at boxing. They just get into a certain plateau, a certain skill set, and they stay in there, and they're not progressing skill-wise. For Yarde to have not sparred preparing for a fight, that's dumb as fuck. And honestly, I agree with you, Bruce, man. We got to get on these trainers as well, because there's no way in seven hells that you were supposed to go into that fight without no sparring. But the counter to that is, and this is to any fighter, even to a credit to Deontay Wilder, if Yarde would have won that fight, we would have been saying Tundi was a genius and Anthony Yarde is a beast and he didn't even spar. That's how great he is. Blah 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 blah. We'd have did so much hype bullshit because of that. Then there's another thing that I was hearing too. You know what I mean? The shit that Andre Ward was saying. Andre, bro, you on some bullshit, bro. I got a lot of love and respect for you, bro. You Oakland native like I'm an Oakland native, bro. But that shit you on about the muscles and all that shit, bro, that's bogus as hell. We finna put an end to that whole little muscle and boxing bullshit right here, right now, okay? Yeah, if you a bodybuilder, like a Jay Cutler, if you know bodybuilders, Jay Cutler or Ronnie Coleman, if you go in a boxing ring like that, yeah, you ain't gonna make it. You're done. No matter how big you're done. But there are dudes in the history of boxing that were all muscle and was knocking fools out. Mike Tyson was one of them. Marvelous Marvin Hagler was one of them. George Foreman was one of them. Ken Norton was one of them. Joe Louis was one of them. Sugar Ray Robinson was one of them. Timothy Bradley was one of them. These are buff dudes. Like, they naturally had a buff body, muscular. It wasn't something like they really had to work to get. They are naturally buff, muscular dudes. So all this shitting on dudes that got muscles going into fights, I get it. If they got too much, yes, I get it. Yes, there's too much muscle. You ain't supposed to go in there body looking like a bodybuilder. You're not. You assed out. But Yarde does not go into no boxing match looking like a bodybuilder. He just naturally built. So y'all giving somebody a hard time for just how they are naturally built. Joshua is naturally built that way. Now, granted, he went into the Ruiz fight too heavy. But I think he went into the Ruiz fight too heavy because he was physically preparing for Miller being as big as Miller is. Unfortunately, that didn't go down. And I honestly believe that even if he would have fought Gerald might have got him if he'd have came in making the same mistakes that he made against Ruiz. The only thing I can say in Joshua's credit was that he was actually motivated to fight Miller. So maybe that part would have made all the difference from him fighting Miller to him fighting Ruiz. But back to my boy Yarde. Tundi, if you would have won the fight, they'd have said you was a genius. Now, the fact that you didn't win the fight, you look like a goddamn fool. Period. Straight up. And now, you sitting there, you got to eat your little humble pie in these interviews, and you even said yourself, you know what I'm saying, you don't even know if y'all going to get an opportunity like that again. And that's sad. That's sad. That lets y'all know that one loss will deter your whole career. One loss will deter your whole career. Not 10, not 7. 1 loss. And I know some people, especially on the negative side of this video, will say how Tevin Farmer got like 5 losses and he's a champ. That's like a 1 in a million nowadays, because everybody is on that undefeated train. And I'm sure a few of y'all gonna hop on the Lomachenko train because he got 1 loss. But Lomachenko got a lot of people backing him. He got a lot of people behind him. And he winning. And he lost his first fight, and his first fight was against a top tier dude, which is, they don't really do. That seldomly happens. So they can make an excuse for Loma's only loss. They can make a nice, good reason for why Loma got 1 loss. But I know everybody's going to shit on Anthony Yarde. Still lions in the camp. It's going to always be lions in the camp. Regardless, I'm still going to rock with Ant. I'm an Anthony Yarde fan. I'm not finna switch up on Anthony Yarde just because he lost. And I feel like he could have did a lot better. I mean, his feet was shit. He wasn't sitting on his punches. You know, he got tired. He don't throw combinations. He's like a... even when he's fought in previous fights, he's only throwing 1 or 2 punches at a time, maybe 3, depending on where he's at in the position. I honestly really didn't want him to fight Kovalev, not because I was thinking he was going to lose. I just wanted him to fight a higher caliber fighter like Alvarez, the dude that actually beat Kovalev, and then Kovalev came back and beat him. But I felt like he should have fought a dude like Alvarez, or fight another top tier fighter in another sanctioning body like the WBC or the IBF before he fought someone like a Kovalev. That's what I think he should have did, honestly, with 18 fights. I think he should have waited till he was about 21 or 22 fights in before he fought a fighter like Kovalev. I feel like at this point is when he should have started fighting fighters like Alvarez, or like former champions like Alvarez and other top contenders that are coming up in other sanctioning bodies. Because he was already the top dude in WBO. So he should have been fighting dudes in WBC. He should have been fighting dudes in the sanctioned body, the IBF, the IBO, WBA, and he didn't do that. He was mainly fighting dudes in WBO. And that's another thing these fighters is doing. They just basically stand in one sanctioning body, getting to the highest ranking they could get in that sanctioning body and winning that belt. They're not fighting in all the sanctioning bodies like that. Not all of them. The lucky ones is in the heavyweight division because they fighting for 4 belts at one time right now. And that Ruiz shit is a whole nother other story. I got another video for that. But Yarde, I give him props. He fought a good fight. But the fact that you didn't spar, so you really not progressing. What we really seeing right now is probably the best Anthony Yarde at this point. If he don't spar, if he don't up his training to get better, this is pretty much the best Anthony Yarde we gonna get. He's pretty much just gonna be probably like a 10-round fighter. At this point, and you're not a 12-round fighter. Period. You couldn't even go 12 rounds with Kovalev. So right now, it don't even look like he's world class right now. He has the potential to be that. That's why everybody's like saying you're gonna be world champion, you're gonna be world champion, because he has the potential to be that. But in order for him to reach that, he needs to be willing to get to that place himself, and he needs Tunde Ajayi and his team to push him, to catapult him to that stage. If they don't, he ain't getting there. So I think, Ant, you need to start fighting some top tier dudes in other sanctioning bodies to get your shot back, because right now ain't nobody finna give you a shot. For 2 reasons. For one, the way you performed against, the way you lost. I wouldn't say the way you performed, but the way you lost to Kovalev. They ain't gonna give you that. Number 2, you are a dangerous fighter. So once they see you get to a certain level where it's like, oh shit, Ant ain't the same dude that fought Kovalev now. Oh shit, everybody not gonna be too eager to fight you because you're gonna be too much of a threat. Especially nowadays, the bigger the threat you are, the highly unlikely people are going to be wanting to fight you. It ain't like it was back in the G. So at this point, bro, people will be more willing to fight you because they feel like they see the little holes in your game and they feel they can exploit you because they saw how you fought Kovalev or how Kovalev fought you. But if they see that you have progressed past that and you've gotten extremely better than that fight, people are going to be hard pressed to fight you. Period. That's just what it is. But I had win with my boy Ant to win. He didn't win. He lost. He got knocked out by a fucking jab. Oh, the shit the shit I've had to hear since that man lost that fight. But anyway, But all the shit, you know, kittens in the camp, cubs in the camp, all that shit. It's still lions in the camp. I can't yell because I'm outside and shit like that. I ain't trying to be hella loud. But it's still lions in the camp. I'm still rocking with Ant, regardless, win, lose, or draw. But Ant, that wasn't good, bro. That wasn't cool, bro. You should have sparred for that. There's no reason why you shouldn't be sparring. Tundi, you a dumbass for not even having him spar. You train with pretty much one of the greatest, actually the greatest fighter of our era, Floyd Mayweather, and he sparred. What the fuck make you think Anthony is any different than Floyd? And Ant ain't did nowhere near as much as Floyd at this point in his career. So why would the fuck would you do that? That's stupid as fuck. And you sat there and watched Floyd train. You actually sat there and watched Floyd put in work, and you didn't think to incorporate none of that shit with your fighter because you think he's so much better than that. You tripping. You tripping. You tripping. Straight up. But I'm disappointed. That's how the game go. But hats off to Ant for going over there. There's a lot of other fighters that wouldn't even do that. So I give you props for that. But Ant, you need to work on your feet. And you need to sit on your punches, bro. If you keep fighting like that, bro, you will not be a world champion unless you get some Al Heyman type treatment or some shit. Then yeah, that's a possibility. But at this point, you're a UK fighter, and ain't none of these American promoters finna look out for you. So your best bet is to hope and pray that Frank Warren gets you in a position for a world title shot. Cause none of these American promoters is finna put you on. Cause they're eventually gonna see you as a threat, and they don't want that smoke. Straight up. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon so you can be notified every time I hit y'all with some hot shit. Follow me on Instagram at DT_boom. Follow me on Twitter at DBoyWSO. Man, you already know who it is, man. It's your boy DT3 New Media Notification Gang. God Squad. That's what it is, man. Lions in the count. 1.